The first experience I had with Peng was coming to one of the demonstrations that he held. I had been struggling for a couple of months at that point with a herniated disc in my L5-S1 disc. This injury put me out. It laid me out. I was pretty much incapacitated for several months. And so I was looking for ways to help that situation. And so I came to the demonstration, and it was different than I had imagined. I think with a lot of these kinds of modalities, there tends to be a level of, I don't know, energy. People talk about energy, and they talk about some more esoteric concepts. But this demonstration was very practical, and it was very down to earth. And he had ways of demonstrating what he did in a very practical, very real way. And so it wasn't just like, you know, this is Qigong, take my word for it. It was, this is Qigong and watch how it works. And he demonstrated how it works, and he demonstrated his ability to read people's energy, to treat people's physical and health problems, and because he demonstrated that, it was like night and day from a lot of other demonstrations I've been to and things I've explored. Honestly, for someone as young as Peng, I was not sure what to expect. You know, I think when we think of Qigong, we think of some 72-year-old Chinese man who doesn't talk. He just moves, and you follow his movement, and if you follow him for long enough, eventually maybe one day you'll become a student, you know. But this was different. It was down to earth. There was a lot of talking, a lot of describing what was going on, and just a whole different approach that was really accessible and very real. And the proof was in the pudding, you know. It was right there in front of me. So I even though he was young, Peng is younger than I would have expected, I was able to sort of easily just trust that he knew what he was doing, because he proved it. He showed it right there in front of us. So his approach of focusing on honing the few sets of knowledge, or the few techniques, until those are really, really solid, that was perfect for me. Because I wasn't looking for, 11 million ways to do this. I was just looking for something I can get deep into, you know. So it was really appropriate for me, that sense. And it also gave me a sense of his integrity as a teacher, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And it's about the depth with which you do one single movement, not the number of movements you know. It's taught me sort of something about healing myself, how my own movement and my own actions are what make a difference in my own healing, and not the actions of some healer or the actions of some teacher. 4 months later, being able to bend down and touch my toes, which I couldn't even begin to do. I couldn't bend more than that, down. But after 4 months of working with Peng, I could bend all the way down and touch my toes. I started with having to adjust all of the movements he was teaching in order to be able to do them, because I couldn't get my body to reach certain places. So on a physical level, it was the single most effective way of treating my back pain. On an emotional level, it gave me a ritual. For me, it became a ritual of becoming present, of being in the moment with my body, with the feelings in my body, with my breath, with my movement. And that, on an emotional and a spiritual level, was, I can't even tell you how valuable that was. It changed so much for me in terms of my ability to be happy. I've been really inspired by how gifted Peng is, that while he doesn't have necessarily the years of some masters, he has gifts with this that go beyond some masters. And so that's something that's been inspiring me, and it's, I think, made up for the fact that I was expecting, you know, an 80-year-old old man, you know, to be teaching this. That he's just enormously gifted, and that's inspiring. It's hard to put words to, but my experience with Qigong and with Peng as a teacher, it's been like learning these very potent secrets, you know, that it's not about learning this huge body of work, but it's about learning a few movements. But these movements are potent, they're perfected, they're distilled right down to their essence. And, you know, just in those few powerful movements, so much healing is possible, and so much transformation is possible.